The rehearsal dinner was supposed to be elegant. Candles, soft music, family bonding. Instead, my father was standing in the middle of the private dining room at Riverside Estate, his face red, voice echoing. "This is completely unacceptable, Emma. You're marrying someone we barely know. Someone who works in tech consulting, whatever that means." My fiancé James sat beside me calmly, his hand on mine. He'd warned me this might happen. "Dad, can we talk about this privately?" "No. This needs to be said in front of everyone." He gestured at the 30 guests, his friends, my mother's book club, my sister's in-laws. "You're rushing into this marriage. You're making a mistake and I will not support it." My mother sat silent. My sister Natalie smiled behind her wine glass. "We're not asking for your support," I said calmly. "We're asking for your presence." "Well, you're not getting our money," my father declared. "Your mother and I discussed it. We're not paying for this embarrassment. If you want to marry this man against our advice, you can pay for it yourself." 30 pairs of eyes watched me, waiting for me to break down. I looked at James. He gave me the smallest nod. "That's okay, Dad," I said. "We've got it covered." "What?" "We don't need your money." "Emma, do you know how much this venue costs? This wedding will cost at least $200,000. You can't possibly afford that." I took a sip of wine. "Actually, we already paid for it." "What are you talking about?" "James and I paid for the entire wedding 3 months ago. Venue, catering, flowers, music, photography, everything." My sister leaned forward. "That's impossible. You're a project manager at some startup." "I'm a senior product director at a software company, Natalie. But you've never actually asked what I do." "Even so," my father said, "you can't afford this. You must have taken out loans. Proven you're irresponsible." James cleared his throat. "We didn't take out any loans." "Then how did you pay for it?" "We used our savings," I said simply. "Your savings? You have $200,000 in savings? At your age. We have significantly more than that. But yes, we paid with cash." My sister laughed. "You're lying to save face." I pulled out my phone. "Would you like to see the receipts? The venue contract? The paid invoices? You could have faked those. I'm not going to justify our financial situation to you." I stood up. "Dad, you made your position clear. You don't support this marriage and you're not paying. That's fine. We didn't ask you to. We invited you to celebrate. If you can't do that, you're welcome to leave." "You're dismissing me? At your own rehearsal dinner?" "I'm giving you a choice. Sit down, enjoy the dinner we paid for and celebrate. Or leave. But you don't get to insult my fiancé. Your mother and I paid for everything your entire life. And this is how you thank us." "I'm grateful for my education. But that doesn't mean you control my choices forever." "You're making a mistake." "Maybe. But it's my mistake to make." My father grabbed his coat. "Your mother and I will not be at this wedding. And when this marriage falls apart, don't come crying to us for money." "I won't." He stormed out. My mother hesitated, then followed. Natalie stood slowly. "You've always been selfish. This proves it." "How is paying for my own wedding selfish?" "You're tearing this family apart." "I'm getting married. That should be happy. You're the ones making it a problem." She left. The rehearsal continued, awkward but functional. James's parents hugged us. His mother whispered, "You handled that beautifully." Later that night in our hotel room, James held me while I cried. "I knew they'd react badly," I said. "I didn't think they'd make it so public." "I'm sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. You're the founder and CEO of a cybersecurity firm valued at $180 million. That's not just anything. Your family doesn't know that. I didn't tell them because they'd either accuse me of being a gold digger or suddenly become interested in our finances. We could tell them now. About the company, about the venue." I shook my head. "The $2.3 million estate we purchased 2 months ago? The one we're getting married at tomorrow? The boutique wedding business I'm going to run? Better this way." They made their choice. The next morning, text from my mother. "Your father deposited $50,000 in your account as a wedding gift. Consider it our contribution even though we won't be there." I checked my bank. Nothing. I called Sophie, our venue coordinator and business partner. "Did my parents try to make a payment?" "Yes. Your father called and gave credit card info for a $50,000 deposit. I told him it was fully paid, but he insisted. The charge was declined. Insufficient funds. I tried calling back but got no answer. I laughed out loud. What should I do? Nothing. Just make sure everything is ready for today. Everything is perfect. He was right. The ceremony happened at sunset on the estate's back lawn overlooking the river. 200 guests. Our friends, colleagues, James's family, and a few cousins of mine who'd chosen to come despite my parents' absence. The reception was in the restored barn we'd spent $400,000 renovating. String lights, exposed beams, long farm tables with cascading florals. I'd designed every detail myself over 6 months of planning. I wore a custom gown I'd paid for with my own bonus from the product launch that had made our company an industry leader. James wore a Tom Ford tux. We exchanged vows we'd written ourselves about building a life together on our own terms. Not once did I think about my parents' absence. Not once did I wish they were there. After the ceremony, during cocktail hour, Sophie pulled me aside with concern in her eyes. Emma, your father is at the front gate. My stomach dropped. What? He's asking to be let in. Security stopped him. He says he's the father of the bride and he belongs here. What should I tell him? I looked across the lawn at James, laughing with his groomsmen. At our friends dancing on the terrace. At the life we'd built together without anyone's permission. Tell him the wedding is a private event. He's not on the guest list. Are you sure? I'm sure. 20 minutes later, I got a text from my father. I came to make peace. You won't even let me in? After everything I've done for you? I didn't respond. Then my mother, your father is very hurt. This is your wedding day. Don't you want your parents there? I replied, you made your choice yesterday. I'm making mine today. My sister, you're being a bitch. I blocked all 3 numbers. The reception was magical. We danced until midnight under the barn's restored timber beams. Our friends gave speeches about how perfect we were for each other, how we'd built something real despite everyone's opinions. James's father toasted to the couple who built their own life together, brick by brick, decision by decision. The band played our favorite songs. The 5-tier cake we'd chosen together was perfect. The signature cocktails I'd designed were a hit. Every detail we'd spent months planning came together beautifully. At one point, James pulled me aside onto the terrace. No regrets. None. You. Only that I didn't buy you an even bigger venue. I laughed. This one's pretty good. And it's going to be a great business. You're going to make it incredible. We're going to make it incredible. We kissed under the string lights in the venue we owned at the wedding we'd paid for ourselves, surrounded by people who actually celebrated us. 2 weeks later, on our honeymoon in Bali, lounging by our private villa's infinity pool, I got an email from my mother. Emma, we need to talk. Your father and I have been discussing things and we realize we may have overreacted. We'd like to meet with you and James when you return. Perhaps we can have dinner and start over. Also, we saw photos of the wedding online. It was absolutely stunning. The venue was beautiful. How much did you say it cost? We'd like to reimburse you for what we would have contributed. We feel terrible about missing it. I showed James the email. He was quiet for a moment. Are you going to respond? He asked. Eventually. But not now. Not when they're only reaching out because they saw the photos and realized how wrong they were. What will you say when you do respond? I thought about it for a long moment, watching the sun set over the ocean. Then I opened my laptop and typed. Mom, the wedding cost $347,000 total. James and I paid for all of it. We also purchased the venue, Riverside Estate, for $2.3 million. It's now our property and will operate as a luxury events business that I'll be managing. James's company, which you dismissed as tech consulting, is a cybersecurity firm currently valued at $180 million. We're doing well. We don't need reimbursement. You and Dad made your position clear at the rehearsal. You called my marriage an embarrassment. You said you wouldn't support it. You stormed out. Then you tried to contribute $50,000 as a deposit that bounced due to insufficient funds. Sophie, our venue coordinator and now business partner, told me about it. I'm not angry. I'm just done. I'm done trying to prove my life choices to people who've decided I'm making mistakes. I'm done seeking approval from parents who only show interest when they realize I might have something worth taking credit for. James and I built this life together. We'll continue building it together. Without you. Don't contact me again. I hit send before I could change my mind. Harsh, James said. Necessary, I replied. We never heard from them again. Well, that's not entirely true. My sister sent one more email 6 months later asking if I could get her a discount on the venue for her vow renewal. I didn't respond. Today, 3 years later, Riverside Estate is one of the most sought-after wedding venues in the state. We've hosted over 100 weddings, dozens of corporate events, and even a few celebrity affairs. We've expanded to include weekend retreats and photography workshops. The business is now valued at $5 million and growing steadily. We're considering purchasing a second property. James's company went public last year with a market cap of $2 billion. We're comfortable. More than comfortable. We're building exactly the life we wanted. And I've never once regretted turning my parents away at the gate. The woman who paid for her own wedding at a venue she owns. The woman whose father's generous contribution bounced. The woman who chose herself over family approval. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. And the people who couldn't celebrate that? They don't get to celebrate anything else either.